Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the RPA Quarterfinals game. This time we are taking on Coach Maple of the Maple Leafeons. This is my team on the left, his team on the right. So, their team consists of Mega Lopunny. It speed ties Chinpao, which is very, very worrying, but I'm still going to run max speed Chinpao because I like those chances. And I'm not quite sure how ballsy they feel. So Mega Lopunny can run a lot of different moves. It can run triple axle, U-turn, return, close combat, quick attack, a lot of moves like that to kind of just wreak havoc on my team and hit everything neutrally or super effectively. It really only needs return, close combat, triple axle, U-turn. Return and close combat are nice good stab moves that he can use to hit everything. Triple axle can hit Zapdos a bit harder, and U-turn just for general pivoting. Next up they have Victini. Victini gave me a lot of grief in prep due to how powerful it can be with Choice Band V-Create. So it can run V-Create to swap everything not named Suicune super hard, and then just for Suicune, it can run Bolt Strike, and those are the only two moves it needs. It can run U-turn for pivoting. It can run a bunch of tricky stuff like, well, Trick and Trick Room, and it's just a really fun Pokemon for them to have. It can run Trick Room to help out Primarina and Melmetal, their next two picks. Melmetal is a super duper bulky and annoying Pokemon with double Iron Bash, and it can run, I think, Toxic and Thunder Wave to kind of get some nice clean para-flinching action going, or Toxic Stall going. Double Iron Bash hits a lot of things super duper hard. It can run Ice Punch to hit Zapdos hard, and it can run Superpower to get a bit of extra damage on SCIZOR or Earthquake, depending on what he fancies. Thunder Punch can be run for Suicune. It has a lot of options it can run. Unfortunately, it can't run every move, but it can run what it needs to do well, and that's super duper dangerous for Melmetal. Next up's Primarina. Primarina gave me a bit of grief because I'm planning on like trying to counter like a sub-call mindset. Logically, I know Nidoking can check it, but getting Nidoking in is another thing entirely. So it can fire off powerful Scalds and Moonblast. It can Flip Turn, Ice Beam, Grass Knot. It can run a lot of fun moves to just, like I said, slap everything on my team neutrally or super effectively. It can run Sub-Calm Mind if it wants to. I think it gets access to Draining Kiss for recovery, and Primarina is just a general nuisance. Gligar is a little bit less of a nuisance, but it's something that I still have to plan around regardless. It can get access to Toxic and Rocks, Toxic Stealth Rock, Defog, Knockoff, Earthquake, U-Turn for pivoting. It has a lot of nice options. Unfortunately, I don't think it comes to this game because I have a Chinpao Suicune, a Zapdos that can run HP Ice, and a Nidoking that can run Ice Beam. Gligar's good, but I don't think it comes. Raikou is something that I definitely think does come as a sub-call mindset. Thunderbolt Scald is really all it needs to hit my team super effectively. The only thing it doesn't hit's Brambleghast, but I'm definitely not bringing Brambleghast to this game versus an Umbreon and a Victini, and a Melmetal for that matter. So yeah, Raikou just kinda has its way with this team, and even then it can still hit Brambleghast hard enough with enough boost. Latios is another Pokemon that I think he could bring, specifically a Scarf set to counteract Chinpao. It can get Mystical Fire to hit Chinpao. I think it gets Aura Sphere to hit Chinpao. Draco Meteor is a nice powerful attack to hit my team. Gets access to Shadow Ball, Psychic, Psyshock, Surf to hit Nidoking if he's predicting a Terra, Ice Beam. It gets a lot of coverage, and that's kind of what makes it dangerous. Unfortunately, my game versus Twio in the regular season, the guy who had the Latios, has made me kind of hyper aware that these things can run Calm Mind to counteract Suicune, specifically with Psyshock. So I'm trying to be wary of that, and being wary of that made this game that much harder to deal with. Ultimately, I think Raikou is his Calm Minesweeper, but he can run Latios if he feels like it. But I project like Scarf Latios if he does bring it. Umbreon is probably a must here, especially like specifically specially defensive Umbreon, just to counteract Nidoking, just to switch into it safer. Another especially defensive option he could bring to counteract Nidoking is Regice, which I felt was a really, really cool option for this game because it could probably eat a hit from Chien-Pao and fire back something. It can eat hits from Zapdos. It can run HP Fire for SCIZOR. It can hit Nidoking. It can hit Screamtail. It can hit Suicune. It can hit a lot of stuff. Toedscruel gives him hazard control with Rapid Spin, and it can set rocks and spikes. I don't think he brings it because my team is really, really unfriendly to grass types. I have Chien-Pao, Nidoking, SCIZOR, Zapdos, and Infernape all to check grass types. So I don't think he brings Toedscruel, and Rufflet is something that he's never brought all season. I don't have reason to believe he brings it again. So that's a brief overview of the matchup, so let's get into my team. Starting things off, I have Screamtail with Encore, Wish, Protect, Play Rough. Play Rough is to hit his specially, or his Calm Minesweepers like Latios and Raikou a bit harder, since it hits on the physical side, not the special side. Encore is to lock Raikou into like whatever move like Calm Mind. It's specifically designed to take on Calm Mind Latios, Encore him into Calm Mind, get in Chien-Pao for a free attack, or I could Encore Raikou into Thunderbolt, get Nidoking in for a free attack. It's just something to generate momentum in my favor. So, 248 speed is designed to outpace Latios. Max HP, I Max HP is just there to sponge hits as well as I can, and the rest is in Spidev because I want to be a little more specially defensive than physically defensive. Ultimately, the only physical hit that I really need to eat is a return from Mega Lop, and that's really it. But Mega Lopunny, I have a Zapdos for. I have Ruse U-turn Discharge Defog. Discharge is just a nice stab move. He doesn't really have a premier ground type this game, and even then I just U-turn out on it and go into like Chien-Pao or Suicune anyways. Defog is for hazard removal despite his hazards not being the best. I figured it couldn't hurt to have. This slot was originally HP Ice, but I felt Defog was a bit better since I didn't really know what his hazards was going to be, and I could account for the fact that he could run dual screens too. Roost for general recovery, U-turn for pivoting, max HP, max defense for the Mega Lopunny, and generally the Melmetal too. So, yeah. Next up, I have Chien-Pao. Chien-Pao is Choice Band. This is ultimately why I decided to put Defog on Zapdos, because Chien-Pao Choice Band doesn't appreciate coming in on hazards, and I need to get those off the field. Not having hazard removal on a team with a Choice Band Chien-Pao is asking for trouble. I have Ice Spinner, Crunch, Sacred Sword, Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is there to kind of hit Scarf Victini if I feel like he is going to be Scarf, and just generally something with priority to clean up late game if I need it. Ice Spinner Crunches are nice to stab moves. Sacred Sword is to hit the Melmetal on the switch, and though Ice Spinner Crunch is going to be hitting it hard anyways, but it doesn't hurt to have the coverage. Next up, I have Sub-Calm Scald Protect Suicune. This is pretty much generally pressure stalling and just getting as much recovery back as I can from substitute damage. Scald hits everything on his team minus Primarina, but I want to be boosting my special attack and special defense anyways, so I figured it was a nice option to have. Nidoking is a kinda, I wouldn't say a standard set, like, the set is standard, but the EVs aren't. This is a very, very bulky Nidoking set. It's Terra Grass to counteract a Terra Water Raikou Scald. Or just to... Well, it's not specifically designed for Terra Water Raikou, but I had Scald Raikou in mind whenever I made this set. Shoutouts to Beal for suggesting Terra Grass. Sub, Ice Beam, Earth Power, Sludge Wave hits everything neutral or super effectively. And 252 special attack modest with Life Orb Sheer Force means these three attacks are going to be hitting as hard as possible. 56 speed is to outpace base speed Primarina. Wait, no, it's not base speed Primarina, it's max speed modest Primarina, I think. 120 HP is to hit 333 HP because it's a funny number. 64 defense allows me... This was a relic of another set. I think that allowed me to tank a Victini V-Create on some set. I forget what it was. And then 16 defense. 16 Spadef is what I had left over, so I just kind of put it in Spadef because why not? And the real tech this game is SCIZOR. Leftovers with Technician. SCIZOR's finally coming off the bench after seemingly all season. I don't think I brought it after my week 4-3 game. It's been a while since I brought SCIZOR. But I have Roost, U-Turn, Bullet Punch, and Sand Tomb. This set, this EV spread, I have 4 speed to outpace Umbreon guaranteed because I felt like outpacing Umbreon is going to be important this game. Getting a quick U-turn off to hit it hard. 56 defense is what I had left over after EVing. 248 HP, 200 Spadef. Careful Nature allows me to guarantee with 1 Choice Scarf Latios and Mystical Fire at full health. I can get a U-turn off and pivot into something else. It's just another option in a pinch, and it can allow me to take on Raikou a bit better. Sand Tomb is a tech specifically for Melmetal. So, Zapdos doesn't really appreciate having to come in on Ice Punch, so SCIZOR is my primary Melmetal answer, and I'm ideally thinking that on Melmetal, once I have SCIZOR in, they hard switch into Victini, and I can Sand Tomb the Victini, hit it for a little bit, just get some passive chip on it with Sand Tomb damage, and just generally wear his team down, or I could just trap Melmetal and have it be out of the game immediately. So that's the rationale with SCIZOR. And that is my team for RPA Quarterfinals. So the game's already done, so let's get into it. So immediately I noticed no Latios, which was really, really nice to know, but they have a lot of the stuff I was kind of dreading. They have the Raikou, they have the Primarina, they have the Umbreon for the Nidoking, Victini, there's no telling what it can run. Melmetal's another worrying option. So here I think I led Zapdos to get a nice U-turn off. As they led Primarina, I quick discharged this turn because I really lost nothing. I had a feeling Raikou would probably come in, but I was just like, yeah, I can U-turn on this, go into Scream Tail, Encore, and Calm Mind, and just generally be vibing. A quick discharge and get a crit, it doesn't really matter because they're leftovers anyways, as they quick substitute. So a U-turn out and go into Scream Tail, and here I quick Encore thinking they go for the Calm Mind behind a sub. Scream Tail's generally passive, so that's what I felt they'd do. They end up quicking Thunderbolt and a quick Encore as they just go hard into Victini as I quick Wish, quick Protect to scout what they want to do. A hard switch into Suicune as they make a nice double into Raikou, but position back into Scream Tail really, really easily as they keep racking up more substitute damage. Here, I decided just to quick Play Rough and break its sub because I knew he was not quicking Calm Mind on Scream Tail for whatever reason. So I quick wish as they go into Melmetal, and I go hard scissor because this is always my first check. So I expected them to go Victini here, but they stay in, and I quick Sand Tomb. I eat the Double Iron Bash. Double Iron Bash will never 2-hit KO me. And yeah, Melmetal is just stuck in here to Double Iron Bash. I keep quicking Roost. I think I quick Bullet Punch this turn just to get a little more chip damage on it. They quick Thunder Punch. I probably would have quick Double Iron Bash, but to each their own. But quick Roost again as they quick Double Iron Bash again. So a quick Roost again here because I can eat another couple hits. I just want to get this back above the range for it. And a quick Roost again, Double Iron Bash again, and Sand Tomb will end this turn. So they switch out and go into Primarina as I quick Sand Tomb again and get a bit more chip on this. So this thing's at 69%, nice. As I U-turn out and go into Scream Tail, they quick Scald doing a lot of damage to me. And I immediately think, like, oh, this may be Specs or Primarina just hits this hard. So I quick Wish and go for Protect, scout what Victini wants to do. And here I go hard into Suicune as they stay in and quick V-Create, probably thinking that I'd overpredict and read Raikou, but this was pretty much the only play I could make. So I quick Sub, and then I quick Calm Mind on the Melmetal. They quick Thunder Punch, breaking my Sub, and then I quick Scald to end the Melmetal. So they go into Raikou. I immediately switch out into Screen Shell because that's my first play. They quick Calm Mind as they quick Calm Mind and then Thunderbolt. I encore them into Thunderbolt. And then I go hard Nidoking to safely switch into the Thunderbolt. Here I think I quick Sub. No, I just go straight for the Earth Power because I felt damage was important because Lopunny could still triple axle me. Umbreon eventually... So, right here, I was surprised at how much Nidoking was doing. I knew I was modest Life Orb Sheer Force, but this Umbreon has to be physically defensive. And that kind of caught me off guard because I felt that Melmetal was better as a physical wall. If you wanted to check Chin Pal, Melmetal was your answer. This is your Nidoking check. Primarina does not want to come in on it, and Raikou doesn't want to come in on it either. Victini doesn't want to come in on it. Mega Lopunny doesn't want to come in on it. Umbreon was your check. And immediately, they threw away their check, they quick foul play, and give me the Umbreon. So Nidoking's looking really, really nice now. As they quick, I think, Fake Out, yeah, I saw that coming, go into SCIZOR. Now here, I quick Sand Tomb, expecting them to just stay in close combat. I thought, yeah, I can live a close combat. This thing's really, really bulky. But it works out because they switch out into Victini and I get Sand Tomb on it. So Victini's taking a bit more chip. I go into Suicune as they quick tricking a Choice Scarf to my SCIZOR. The switch was very, very obvious, so I quick Scald. Or my switch was obvious. I quick Scald on the Primarina, and I just go into Zapdos. Scald does a lot of damage to me, and they are forced to go into Raikou. I quick Discharge because really I lost nothing by quicking it. And so Raikou, it sets up a sub, and here I formulated a game plan. I quicked a U-turn on this to pivot into my SCIZOR. SCIZOR would quick U-turn again to break its sub, and I go into Nidoking. They quick Thunderbolt, I do with it, which was nice. I quick U-turn, break the sub, and I go into Nidoking. So, right here, I felt Scald was imminent. I quicked my Terra Grass, and I quicked Earth Power after doing some calcs on it. So, they Terra Water as I Terra Grass. They quick Scald, I resist the hit, and fire off an Earth Power and Oko. Well, not really Oko the Raikou, but I knock out the Raikou. They go into Victini, and as they quick V-Create, I quick Scald here because I really lost nothing by it. As they go Primarina. So, Right here, I think I go into Zapdos to sack it because I have a 6-3 Pokemon advantage. So I go Nidoking as they go Mega Lopunny, and Mega Lop takes a lot of damage that it doesn't want to take, and I go into Suicune to sack it. They quick return and quick attack, so Suicune's still alive, and they will go into Victini. Now, at this stage in the game's pretty much over. Chien-Pao can clean up with Sucker Punch or Crunch if it wants to, but being the person I am, I don't want this Victini to trick the Choice Scarf back, so I go into SCIZOR to sack it. They quick Bullet Strike as I quick Bullet Punch just to get a little bit of chip off, and they quick Bullet Strike again. So, Victini, it's not going to eat a Crunch well, so I quick Crunch here, and then I quick Crunch one more time on the Primarina. They Aqua Jet, but it's too little too late, and Chien-Pao queens up the game, and I win quarterfinals 4-0. This was a really, really masterclass of a game by me. SCIZOR did its job so well. I'm so proud of SCIZOR. The Sand Tomb tech worked a charm in this game. It did what it was supposed to. It got passive chip on Primarina and Victini. It trapped Melmetal, making it pretty much useless for the rest of the game. He was forced to sack it to Suicune to get Raikou in for free. Nidoking's set worked well. Ultimately, I think they choked quite a bit by not being more specially defensive on Umbreon. I'm not quite sure what the thought process was. Maybe they wanted to run like Terra Fairy or something to better counteract Infernape, but I'm not sure what the thought was behind Umbreon. It genuinely baffled me in the game, but SCIZOR was such a nice bring with Sand Tomb. Like, the person who suggested it was Sark. So, Sark, I don't know if you're watching this. Shoutouts to you for just suggesting Sand Tomb SCIZOR in the first place. It worked so well this game. But yeah, that's enough about this game. So we move on to semifinals in RPA, and we're taking on, I think we're taking on Coach Cart of the Tennessee Voltorbs. Next, they have a fun team that's a bit slow. It has Palafin, Mega Camera Up, Sylveon, Goldengo, a lot of threats like that. It's gonna be versus bulky offense slash Trick Room, the team. So I will catch you guys in the next game. So see ya.